Security. It's been a key word in Europe lately, especially after Donald Trump became president of the United States. His tough stance on the issue is forcing the European Union to take some real action. Poland, using its presidency of the Council of the European Union, could be the glue for EU-US talks, hence the appeal of the citizens' candidate for the president of Poland, Karol Nawrocki, to Prime Minister Donald Tusk. On behalf of a large part of the Polish people, I would like to appeal to the Prime Minister to take it upon himself to convene the European Union-United States Summit in Poland. This is what our security and the security of all of Central Europe requires. Leaders of other countries are calling for a similar summit, including Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. There is no initiative on the part of the Polish presidency. We have been waiting for many years to be able to implement our international policy, also in the area of security, and for Poland to become a leader of the EU in relations with the US and NATO. There is no better moment for Poland than the one today. However, Donald Tusk's proactiveness on this issue is in question. No one in Europe reckons with this government, and even a proposal that will be good for our homeland, it will have to be let go of because it hasn't come out of that political camp. And it seems to me that the key word, good for our homeland, is not without meaning here either. Hardly surprising, since the current prime minister during the election campaign spoke badly about the current leader of the world's biggest superpower. Donald Trump probably does not particularly trust Donald Tusk. Besides, even recent events show that Donald Tusk has a weak position as one of the European leaders. He keeps burning bridges in relations with the U.S. administration today. Meanwhile, good relations with the United States are key to maintaining a U.S. military presence in Poland and Europe. The presence of allied troops in Poland and Europe is key to deterring and repelling any kind of threat that might arise.
Thank you very much.
Donald Trump, however, is making demands. Europe itself must also take care of its own security. That's why the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, announced a 5-point plan to rearm Europe with up to 800 billion euros for defense.
The real question in front of us is whether Europe is prepared to act as decisively as the situation dictates, and whether Europe is ready and able to act with speed and with the ambition that is needed.
A key element of the rearmament plan by the European Commission is the fund. The Commission will borrow from the markets, and the EU budget will be the guarantee. A vote on the issue is expected to take place Thursday. The legislation will be adopted by majority vote. This is to avoid a potential veto.
We are in an era of rearmament, and Europe is ready to massively boost its defense spending, both to respond to the short-term urgency to act and to support Ukraine, but also to address the long-term need to take on more responsibility for our own European security.
Finally, Europe has woken up, for the reason that this proverbial bear has woken it up, as there will no longer be funding exclusively from the US, so to say, and European countries must get to work. As late as 2023, more than a year after the outbreak of full-scale war in Ukraine, only 10 European NATO members were contributing the required 2% of GDP to armaments. Poland was in the lead. Below that threshold were France, the Netherlands, Germany, and Belgium, among others. During the United Right government, the Polish military significantly increased in size, and the Polish Ministry of Defense signed contracts to purchase modern equipment, including HIMARS launchers, F-A-50 aircraft, and Abrams and K2 tanks. Poland's investments were described by the British Times as follows. Poland is conducting the fastest and most ambitious program to expand its armed forces, the likes of which have not been seen in continental Europe for decades. Now the European Union wants to move in the same direction. The question is whether it's not too late.